Namaskar, welcome to Chai Chat with Loveena. Chai Chat is in its second season, and in this season we are bringing on the table the issues that affect you and me. We are also bringing on the table not only your voices but also the voices of the people who can bring about some changes in the society and in the way these issues affect us. And today's Chai Chat is in Heathrow, Madhu. Madhus Heathrow is known for its Punjabi cuisine, North Indian cuisine with a Kenyan twist. And what awards has it won? How many awards has it won? And specifically it is known for its Robata grill. Come on, let's meet our panel and get to know what are we going to talk about today. Every week about 2.5 million people have curry in Britain, and this makes it a 3.5 billion industry, even bigger than the British film industry. But this industry has been in crisis thanks to the tightening of immigration rules on bringing chefs from abroad. The recession didn't help either, but why are we still in crisis despite the fact that there have been a scheme to address this issue? Are we still in crisis is the question that we ask on Chai Chat, and how has the scheme done which was brought about by the government to address this issue? And today we have a very distinguished panel, but before we start this I must thank Sanjay Anand, MBE, the chairman of Madhus, who has hosted Chai Chat. Thank you very much, Sanjay, for having us here today. And we have a very distinguished panel to discuss this issue. We have Sanjay, as we said before. We have Ms. Pavani, Reddy, who is the managing partner of Zaiwalla company, Solicitors. We have Luke Bryan, who was MasterChef 2013 semi-finalist and also now cooks curry at Benares. Fantastic. We have Martin Christian Kent, who is the executive director of People's First, a charity that works with the Hospitality Guild. We have celebrity chef Cyrus, Todiwala, chef proprietor of Cafe Spice Namaste, and Justine, the director of British Curry Awards. They say the Oscars of curry in the UK. Thank you all for joining us. Before we begin this entire discussion and debate, Pavani, can I just ask you, tell us about the rules that have put us in this crisis?
In short, the rules that have been introduced about the chefs and bringing about chefs from abroad or non-EU countries is mainly twofold. They have reduced the category of people that we could bring from abroad and minimize them to a minimum of 3 levels. And secondly, the income category, they have increased the income level that they have to earn as a chef or a head chef within the country. That has been increased. And thirdly, any chef that you would like to bring, the labour test, you have to pass. And thirdly, the income level has been increased to more than 30,000, which is making it very difficult for any restaurant to meet these criteria, if not impossible, to bring any chefs from abroad, the talents.
Bringing the chefs over to how you cook the real Indian food. Let's ask the two people who have really been into the business for decades. Are we still in is the industry still in crisis?
Oh, it's worse than ever before.
Really?
It has never been worse in terms of finding chefs. And I'm talking about a reputable company that more chefs want to work for.
Right.
So if someone like me is finding it difficult, you can imagine the normal high street shop that only has a 50-60 seater restaurant and they want to expand, or they want to do something innovative. It's next to impossible. I mean, how many people can afford to pay 32,000 for a chef? You can only pay that to maybe an executive chef. We don't earn that kind of money in this business to start paying that kind of money.
Are you firing banks as well, Cyrus?
Well, I just opened a new restaurant and we are struggling pitifully.
Really?
And my single biggest problem is, of course, exactly what Sanjay was saying. It's about language. It's about understanding. The worst problem that I'm facing at the moment is the people we get don't even want to try the food. So how can they sell the food if they don't even want to try the food because they're afraid of the food itself? So we have a multiple level of problems here. And it's just not about training and being able to do it. It's about having to take people from the wider EU.
Yes.
And they come with issues of their own. So language is a big problem. But another big problem that has cropped up, and Sanjay is very rightly in pointing out about shortages, is poaching. So now, for a very small extra salary, staff are being poached from one place to the other. And they will move because there's a lure over there, another place. But once they tasted that movement, and once they taste a slightly higher salary, they are attracted to switch very often.
Now that will take us to Luke, who actually is a British chef. And do you think within the restaurant industry that you work in that you face or you see crisis there, or you see boom there?
At the moment, in the restaurant I'm in, right in the middle of central London, around lots of other French restaurants, all European restaurants, I see a booming hub of people wanting to eat, try and learn about Indian food.
And these are British and also
British, Arabic, from all walks of life. They eat at Benares, and they eat a lot at Benares.
So these are chefs that, like Cyrus was saying, that we find people who are not Indians and who don't even want to try the food, but probably are there.
I think it's referring to customers.
Yeah, I'm referring to customers, but on the others, with the employees, we have lots of French and Spanish front of house workers, and they're just as passionate about trying the food. I mean, we only serve Indian food as staff food, and they're just as passionate about trying it and learning from what I've seen.
Before that, I would like to come to Justine. Justine, you are the sort of an umbrella. You also run a magazine, and you do British Curry Awards. Tell me an overview of this whole umbrella of restaurants. Are they suffering or not?
Definitely. My father launched the British Curry Awards. He founded it, and the idea was to glamorise our industry, to attract the youngsters, because in our culture, any youngster my age or my younger brothers, for example, everyone pushes them to become a doctor, become a lawyer, they see working in a restaurant is not as glamorous. And the idea of, we encourage people, even young girls, young boys that come into this industry is fabulous. But the problem is the back of house. No one sees the chef as glamorous as it is. They may say, this is hard work, this is tough, and they simply don't have the skills. My brothers, they run the front of house and they enjoy it, but we have the difficulty to expand our restaurant. We can't. We don't have the facility to get the chefs from Bangladesh, and that's where difficulty lies. And every year, through our magazine, Spice Business, we see restaurants close. They can't handle to carry on opening restaurants or continue because they've got a shortage of staff.
Okay, so we do here have a consensus in some way saying that there is a crisis which still continues, where we have one person saying, no, there is a little bit of boom. There are people who are trying happy to try, and more people are ready to come in, but they are not taught.
I think definitely if people are taught, they will see the passion that I have. And they will
Sanjay,
give
if people go out,
Look,
more people need to go out and about.
There are 8,500 plus Indian restaurants in the UK. We're talking about real top brass here. We're talking about Benares, and we're talking about one man in Benares. So how does that represent what's going on out there?
Now, that brings us to Martin, of course. Martin, please tell us about this scheme, and then tell us how has it done.
The scheme started quite a while ago in terms of the thinking around it, and partly with the previous government. We knew that they were looking at changing the immigration rules and tightening it up through the Migration Advisory Committee. So actually a group of employers came together to say, okay, what do we need to do? How are we going to find a system? Because we knew effectively we're starting from a standing start. As Colin said, we have got 15,000 chef students coming out of college every year, but they do specialise in Anglo-European cuisine. And while they do have some awareness of Asian Oriental cuisine, it's very limited. So we knew we were having to start from scratch. As Cyrus said, we also knew there were some clear lessons from what had worked and what hadn't worked previously. And one of the things we fundamentally knew we had to do was integrate this solution within the college framework and within providers, so it really had that sustainability, because we knew we were going to be in this for a long term. I think it's worth also pointing out, given we were starting from a standing start, we knew this was going to take a while. And that was always a challenge and always a concern from the employers from day one, that actually turning the tap off from the immigration was going to affect them pretty quickly, but at the same time this was going to take a while to really sort of snowball, so it actually had an impact on the industry. So what actually was created was centres of excellence.
We're going to take a break, and have a little bit of stuff on our plate, and we're going to come back. Please don't go away.